Bryan. How are you today? So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, where do you live? How old are you? Like, what do you like? Interested? I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Well, hi guys. Um, like Joshua said, my name is Bryan. Um, I was born and raised in the United States, specifically Florida, Miami. Uh, and I'm also a college student, like you guys. I'm looking to become a civil engineer, and uh, and yeah, I mean that's a little bit about myself.
That's fine. That's fine. So my name is Josh, as you know, and we're here today like to ask you about a movie. And but before that, I wanna ask you something about your country, and I wanna know like how would you describe your country in few words? Like, um, what are what are those words like you would use to describe like your culture, stuff like that.
Okay, so I think an obvious one for me is freedom, because in this country, and it's the reason why my parents came to this country, is to have the freedom to do anything you dream of, for example, and the accessibility, the um, just the being able to determine yourself to do something and being able to execute it in this country. I would also describe it as very very big. I mean, you find all kinds of cultures here, um, and it's as big as it is, it's also very like homey. It's very welcoming to all. So
I wanted to ask something actually. Brian, you were saying that your parents came from somewhere, like looking for specifically that freedom. Where did your parents come from? Uh, did they come from Latin America or where?
yeah, yeah. My parents came from Argentina, so um, yeah, they came to this country looking for the big American dream, and 20 something years ago, I think it was 26 years ago, they made the decision and came here. But yeah, from all the way from Argentina.
And do you feel like you have uh, more sided Argentinian part or USA part of yourself?
Ooh, that's a big question. Uh, because I feel like everyone kind of asks me the same thing, but it's like there's still the Argentinian culture here. Like in my house, I speak Spanish. We drink mate. We in the weekends we have facturas. We do as much as we can to keep the Argentinian culture here alive. But to be honest, my culture more than anything is American. The way I grew up is American. The My primary language is English. It's all very based on American culture. So I am more American than anything, I think.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so first of all, we're going to talk about the piece of media that we are going to analyze, and like as well to put into context, the interview that we're about to do has to be around like a piece of cultural media, cultural audiovisual media that both of our cultures have seen and in their own way, in their own culture. And for this interview, we chose Shrek 2 specifically, but as well, we might as well talk about the whole franchise of Shrek. Um, for example, we wanted to talk about this because for most of us, I don't know for United States specifically, but I think so as well. For most of us Latin Americans, we remember like dearly like watching Shrek, specifically like uh, whether it was in the movies or uh, at home, watching it through your television, with your family, with your friends, with your brothers, like at night, or for example, they used to play it a lot in Christmas. I don't know why, but it was just like a really, really good time, like an unskippable movie. You know, like if you watch it on TV or anywhere else, you're like, okay, I have to finish it. So I was just wondering, and we were just wondering actually, like if your culture takes it takes Shrek like the same way as we do, or does it take it to another level, taking into account that well, it was made in USA. So I just wanted to know, like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Shrek has had an impact globally, right? Um, and I actually find it cool that you guys are saying that it's had an impact in Colombia as well. Because over here it's had a massive impact. Everybody that I know has watched Shrek. We people can bond over a movie so dearly because it's held at high regard by all of us. It's a even though it's like a yeah, it's a family movie, it's a cartoon, whatever. It still is a movie that everyone can relate to, but like can say, "Oh, we love this movie." It's over here, yeah, like you said, we all. It's an unskippable movie. You put it best when you said it's an unskippable movie. You put the movie wherever it is. You could be you can even be at your doctor's office and they put the movie right there in the TV there, and you can't help but just wait there and watch the movie. Doctor could be calling you in, but you're still watching the movie. It's like it's had such a big impact. And here, I mean, I don't know how it is over there, but you know, people wear all types of merchandise for for that movie. Jokes are still made to this day about the movie. Memes. I know there's a big culture of memes here, and you know, like a lot of jokes around Shrek. A lot of memes around Shrek, and you know, even the accent that Shrek has is hilarious, and people try to mimic it. And I don't know, like in general, it's had a huge impact here as well. And we hold it at like the highest regard as one of the top movies, I'd say.
Yeah, all right. That same here, you know, like I just said before, people with backpacks with the image of Shrek or Fiona or Burro, that's crazy. But I wanted to ask you, when did you watch Shrek 2 for the first time? Like, did you remember that? Like, how old were you when you watched it for the first time?
Hmm. You know, I feel like I've watched it so many times already that I can't even recall the first time I watched it. But um, I do know that I watched the Shrek franchise when I was a kid. Um, and I remember watching it with my family as well. Uh, but like you know, I have siblings. And with my siblings, we watched it together, and you know, I can say that to this day, we still love Shrek. The first time we watched it, I may not remember it clearly, but but I know since that day, it's left something that can't be removed.
Yes, yes. Maybe I also do not remember watch it. I have seen that so many times as well. Like
Yeah.
even with my friends, we both we share like a couple of friends, right?
Hmm.
You know the Ramos
Yeah.
are crazy about that
They
movie.
love Shrek. Yeah.
So yeah, and uh, yes. So what else? Pearson, do you have any question?
Yeah, I have a question for you, Brian. I Do you feel that the film change depending on the culture? Or the question is, do you think the film change if you see it in the context of USA than Latin America, for example?
Mm. You know, like over here, I have a lot of Colombian friends. Um, I've had a lot of discussions with them because they claim with their entire heart that Shrek is better in Spanish. They say that it's completely different in Spanish, that it doesn't compare. And one of like, for example, and I'll put a specific example. They specifically mention that the donkey in Shrek is the best donkey in Spanish.
100%.
And I personally, I can't agree with that because I know that for me, I like the donkey in English is so much better because I know like the like his slang, the way he talks, the to me the jokes are just better in English. But yeah, I think it does have a massive difference between Spanish and between English, between American culture and Colombian. Like the way you watch it in different places of the world, I think it could have a massive difference in the sense that like the language, the way the jokes are transmitted, it completely changes the movie. And I mean, I've known people that have gone as far as to say I can't watch the movie in English because I love it so much in Spanish, or vice versa. I can't watch the movie in Spanish because I love it in English. Um, so yeah, I think culturally and everything, it does have a really big difference over there than to over here and all over the world, I think.
Yes, but have you ever had the experience to watch it in Spanish?
Yeah, I do. I don't remember it exactly, but I do remember watching it because, again, my friends are like, "You have to watch it. You have to watch it. It is so good in Spanish."
Yeah,
Yeah,
because in English is Eddie Murphy, the voice of Burro, right? Eddie Murphy, the comedian guy, and
I
that's a
think.
great comedian.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
so. I think so.
and in Spanish is okay, Eugenio Derbez,
Yeah,
a Mexican guy.
Mexican
He's
actor.
very funny, very funny.
They told me one of the voice actors in Spanish for the movie. I don't know who it is Argentinian. Like the accent is Argentinian. Who is it? Was it the mouses? No, the. I might be completely wrong.
So we
I don't know. Maybe you're right, but we don't remember.
I don't remember. I think someone mentioned that, or maybe I'm thinking of a completely different movie. But
Yeah, I'm talking about that. Like, do you think or do you feel that maybe Shrek reflects like aspects or something about your culture specifically?
oh yeah, of course. I mean, for example, in Shrek 2 specifically, we go to far, far away land. I think I forgot what the place was called. But when you enter into the place, it is, I think, detail by detail, I think Los Angeles.
Yes.
So you walk around and there's like the Starbucks from the movie and the celebrities walking around. There's like it. I think it's so, and then like I think there was like sports carriages or like the horses were like super. I don't remember how it went, but that is, I think, exactly what Los Angeles is here, and I think that's the joke of it too. That the culture of like the fairy tale land is exactly like how it is here, and even there's a scene in the movie where now that I'm remembering, it's like they catch Shrek, the cat and the donkey, and they're like by the cuffs, and like they're searching them and everything as if it's like a TV show. Because there are TV shows here that kind of do that, where like they chase down people with like the cops, and I found that part so funny. But yeah, I do think that culturally, a lot of it is taken from here. I mean, I'm pretty sure the movie was made here, and a lot of like the influence is based on what like we live in the United States, as it was shown with the examples I just gave within Shrek 2. So
Yes.
yeah.
I actually wanted to ask as well, like, you were mentioning that there's a lot of like cultural references, of course, to USA, and uh, it's like people can actually tell them just by like looking at the movie. It has a lot of references,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to ask you, like, this is more like a reflection, like, uh, how can a movie that reflects a lot of your culture be like that, like have that much impact in another like culture, like adjacent culture, because Latin America we didn't have like, for example, you were mentioning with the scene where they get Puss in Boots and Donkey and Shrek and Puss in Boots, and like like they're recording such a stuff that it's like never seen in Latin American culture, like even in
Mhm.
TV shows or realities or anything like that. And as well, like I just wanted to know, like how can something that is merely like full like USA culture, well, not fully, but like can have that much impact on our culture, you know?
Mhm. Okay, so I think, and like for example, I've been to Colombia. That's how I know Joshua. We're really close and everything. And from what I was able to speak to people there and everything, is that a lot of American culture is known all around the world. And if we're speaking about Colombia, um, a big influence because of like people like knowing so much about the United States is because of movies. So, for example, I don't know if it was you who mentioned to me, Josh, but somebody had mentioned to me like, "Oh, is it real that you guys have yellow school buses over there?" Because I see it in movies, and it's like, "Oh, is that real? You guys have yellow school buses?" And we do. And I was like, "You guys don't?" I was like, but I think it's like, to me, I'm so used to like, oh, maybe that the things that maybe in other countries you guys see in the movies, but it's because U.S. like culture has been implemented into so many movies, like the city of Los Angeles, New York, even Miami. And I can give you examples of movies. Fast and Furious was in Miami. Millions of movies in New York, Los Angeles. Not just the big cities, but even small cities where we see like the details of the American family and stuff like that. They've had such an impact globally. I think that's why a movie like Shrek, when it incorporates American culture into the movie, like anywhere you are around the world, it is still something that like people can um, be impacted by um, or kind of like say that they know about it because they've already been introduced by a bunch of movies, American movies already, uh, and even though like there are some scenes that are still new, like the whole like cops getting the characters in the movie, like even though they're new, there's still ideas that everybody knows are American culture. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly there, but I guess like the idea of what I'm trying to say is like American movies have hit so much globally that the culture has been presented into multiple countries around the world.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, we got you, I think. But I wanted to say that you're right, but when I was a kid and I was watching the movies, I remember that I didn't understand at all the movie because of the references that you were talking. But then when I grew up, I realized that it was American culture. Because imagine if Shrek were made here in Colombia, it would be completely different. I
Yeah.
think even the jokes, the the cities. Um, yes. People, do you have any question?
Mm, I think, yeah, taking to account that Joshua said, how do you think the movie would be different if were made in other country? I don't know, like Joshua said, in Colombia, in Latin America, or I don't know.
I'd
Mm.
say it's like related to your like culture, like Argentina. You know, like the other side of your culture.
Yeah.
Like you, the one that you were mentioning was like present in your house, in your daily life, with your parents, and I think with your siblings as well. Like,
Yes. Huh. That's a good question. I think, um, well, with the example we've already been using, instead of it being Los Angeles, it'd be Bogota, or it'd be Buenos Aires, the city capital, or something. Like the small details within the movie would change so much that the movie would change completely, right? Even the food, the I don't know necessarily for the movie Shrek 2, the clothes would change because it's all fairy tale themed. But maybe even, you know what I'm thinking? And I might be completely wrong, but since the movie has like a lot of um, like it's based on fairy tales, Shrek, The Princess and the Frog, and all this stuff. I know that there are story tales or like bed stories that maybe you guys grew up with that we don't know about. So if the movie was made in Colombia, instead of maybe having like Princess of the Frog, maybe you would have, I don't know, some sort of other fairy tale that you guys grew up with, or same thing in Argentina. Um, I wouldn't specifically know what to tell you about fairy tales in Argentina. I'd have to like maybe like ratoncito Pérez. I think that's like everywhere, in Latin America. Maybe like instead of like the tooth fairy or the something that you got, ratoncito Pérez. Huh? That's how you said it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So like the story itself would also change. The characters would change. I think it'd be very, very different if it was made anywhere but the United States. But I also think that's actually really interesting to think about. As I think that'd be really, really cool to see a Colombian version of Shrek or an Argentinian version of Shrek. That'd be super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Oh, yeah. Imagine the donkey drinking mate. That'd be fire.
That'd be fire. That'd be so cool.
So yeah, and what emotions this movie evoke in you today? Like, does it make you feel nostalgic, or like you wish you were a kid, or
Yeah, of course. I mean, a movie that I grew up with personally invokes nostalgia all the way. Like, any mention of Shrek or stuff like that kind of reminds you of what your childhood was like, right?
Yeah.
The way you grew up, and Shrek is incorporated to me. I grew up a lot with superheroes as well, so growing up with superheroes and everything, I think Shrek is incorporated into that as well. So when I get or I hear any mention of it, I get nostalgia right away. But it also provokes like just a sense of happiness. It invokes a sense of happiness within me because to think about like how funny the movie is, or to remember certain jokes from the movie. Like I was remembering just now, like I told you, the scene about the cops and them taking them. But also there was a scene where Pinocchio's having to rescue them and he drops down and then he's wearing a woman's underwear and stuff like that. Like a bunch of those scenes that you can think back to and think like, that's so funny, and it makes you so happy to think about that. So I think overall just completely positive memories and positive emotions are invoked from that movie, because again, it's one of the greatest movies to ever exist. So yeah.
Even when you listen the songs around, like
Of course. Oh my gosh.
the movie, like the morning routine of Shrek. What's the movie like? Na 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 na.
The first one, I think.
All Star, no?
Yeah.
And then there's like in Shrek 2, the last one, which is like I Need a Hero. Do you guys listen to the movie in Colombia, like the songs in English?
Yes. I was in English. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, because I actually wanted to make a follow-up question, like with the things that I'm going to say. We were like you were mentioning like if we saw it in English or in Spanish. Most of the songs were dubbed to Spanish, but there are some songs which like I'm a Believer, which is freaking great song in English, like
Amazing.
like you can only hear it in English actually, but it's freaking amazing. It's like the first time I heard it, obviously I didn't know any English or like a little bit, like and I was just like right as they were singing, like mumbling because I didn't know what they were saying, but I was just like and it's working to sing like crazy, and but then there are other songs that you mentioned, like I Need a Hero, which for me is so freaking great. Like I do it and I like it as well. But and maybe as we were saying to you, in English is better. And I feel like in Spanish I really like it. And I just wanted to like make this question about do you think when we're doing stuff, when there's like make this, for example, from English to Spanish, there are some words that have to be changed or some expressions that maybe do not align with the joke that was made in first place by the producers or by the directors that are like culturally impacted in USA. Do you think that maybe this is like a cultural and like enrichment, or maybe like a loss in the like conversation between cultures? You know.
Of course. Yeah, that's an amazing question. I think, personally, right? I think, like you said, there's certain jokes that, if you translate them exactly word for word in Spanish, aren't they don't have the same result. Like, they don't have the same, um, they don't invoke the same thing, because the key in a lot of jokes is the wordplay. In English, it's the wordplay of like how you use specific words in combination or stuff like that, that in Spanish, when they're translated, you just can't do, and then vice versa. There's jokes that in Spanish you can't really do in English, translated. So I think that maybe in a lot of like in a lot of things, the dub versions do a great job in finding a way of like replacing certain things, but still giving the same overall meaning. But I do think sometimes maybe like it gets lost in translation. Like, maybe it doesn't have the same impact it does in English, because maybe it doesn't relate as much to what they're trying to say in the moment than when it's translated in Spanish. Um, or even with songs, like I'm surprised that you guys dub a lot of the songs. 'Cause I think about it, like, how do you make it so that the words that are used in English, because if you translate the words, it's not gonna be able to have the same rhythm, the same everything. So I wonder, like, how you guys managed to make the song still so good, even though it's translated. So I don't know. I mean, I think the dub does a great. I think it does like it does a great job in that. Like, it completely it translates it without completely changing the meaning. But maybe there are some examples where maybe the translation got lost. But or maybe another chance is where it's even better translated from Spanish to English with songs. I mean, now I have to go and I have to listen to I Need a Hero in Spanish. Like, I need to listen to that now. But yeah, I do think the dub does a really, really good job in translating the words and the jokes and making it still have the same meaning.
Fire, fire. So, well, to sum up, um, thank you first of all, like, for being here to talk to us. You're so nice, and I don't know if maybe one of you guys, Juan or Felipe, wants to conclude, like to say, like the words to finish.
Well, yeah, to sum up, I think the people understand the movie depends on the context now. I think Bryan understand the movie completely different in the way that we understand it, and it depends on we were talking about the language, the jokes, the dub, um, and and we can see it in many audiovisual products that it change a lot if we see it in the original idiom as English, or we see it translated in Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think actually just like to close it up, uh, and the fact that we can like as like for example USA as a big part of pop culture, uh, and can have this impact in like in another completely different culture just by like changing the way things are expressed, changing the way things are like like they can change completely the meaning of something culturally like impactful in USA to make it culturally impactful in I don't know Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, and I just feel like this type of movie like represents that
Mm.
we as cultures definitely have dialogues between each other. Maybe they're not as like visible or like as like first like on your screen like popping up. It's not information that is popping up, but it's always like a constant exchange of uh, yo, this is what's happening in this part of the world. We represent it in Shrek, in the fairy tales, in the expressions that Donkey uses, because, for
Mm.
example, Donkey specifically has a lot of Mexican expressions in the Spanish dub, and we can take it apart because that dub is made in Mexico, and that dub is like literally like passed through different cultures, completely different to Mexico, but they still get the same value and the same uh, uh, like cultural enrichment out of this dub. And I just wanted like to say that quick reflection, and as well to thank you like for having this time. Thank you for yeah talking with us, letting us know your opinions, and basically helping us in our work. We hope we get a
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Of
Um,
course, it's been amazing. Anytime I get to talk about Shrek, it's always amazing. I love that movie so much. But no, you guys. By the way, I'm totally out of context, but you guys' English is amazing, phenomenal. Really, you guys. I understood every like perfect, amazing. But yeah, no,
Thank you,
I
Brian.
also know if I need help internationally for my school, I can count on you guys. And
Yeah,
real don't doubt it, but don't doubt it. Yeah, yeah.
thank you guys.
thank you,
Thank
Brian.
you.